Hey guys, Datasaurus Rex here. Raw, real, and uncut. It's been a while since I made a video. You can probably imagine the dishes are really starting to pile up. So, we're washing them. We are washing those dishes. There is intelligent life on other planets. There is. And I want to start off by saying I'm not talking about little green men. I do not have any special knowledge of little green men running around the universe, probing people in rural America. Okay, so get that thought out of your head right now. If you want to watch something about that, that's great, but this is not the video for that. So, first though, I want to talk about something completely different, if that's alright with you. Religion. Religion. A lot of people do not like to be called religious. I used to say, people would say, well, that's your religion, and I would say, no, it's not my religion. It's the truth. It's not my religion. It's a way of life, you know. And so it's religion has kind of got a connotation of it's just got some negativity associated with it. Maybe the idea of blindly following traditions, whether or not they be helpful or true. So people are trying to get away from that word. And you know who really doesn't like to be called religious? There are certain atheists and people who call themselves scientifically minded, and if you say that it's a religion, you can see the fire in their eyes. They do not like that one bit. And in a certain sense, they are correct. It's not a religion. However, most people are believing in the prevalent mythology of our time, which is the blind, the fully automatic, the unfeeling, the unintelligent universe. It's like if you have an apple seed and you plant it and it sprouts and starts to grow. Are you shocked? No. No, it's not a shock when an apple seed sprouts, because that's what apple seeds do. They are apple seeds. You plant it, you water it, it starts to sprout, it grows up, it gets branches, leaves, eventually flowers and apples. And if someone were to walk by and see your apple tree and go, well, how did those apples get there? Who put those apples on that tree? What are those apples doing on that tree? How did they get there? There must have been some strange course of events that caused this to happen. Some strange process. How did these apples get onto this tree? Who put the apples onto the tree? And you might think they're crazy, and you'd be right. They'd seem quite mad. And there is a process. It does involve the sun shining and the bees and the soil and the water and the air, but none of those things put the apples on the tree. The sun did not put apples on that tree. The bees did not put apples on that tree, because they are all part of an apple-producing system. If any one of those things was not there, we would not have apples. And if the seed wasn't there, we certainly wouldn't have apples. But they all have to work together. You need all of them in a single system working together. Yet, we look around our universe and we say, how did these people get here? What are these people doing in this universe? We look at the universe as humans. We look at humans in this universe like they don't belong. Like we're some freak accident. Like we just happened by some strange chance. We're lucky to be here. We probably don't even belong here. And in order to survive, we've got to fight tooth and nail with nature. And we've got to battle with nature. And we've got to harness its power and exploit its resources in order to make existence more tolerable for humans. Now, let's look at the Big Bang Theory. It's as good of a theory as any other theory that there is. So, we'll take a look at that. You start with this thing called a singularity, which is this infinitely dense, infinitely heavy, infinitely small point of everything, all condensed into one spot. And it starts to expand rapidly, and as it's expanding, you're getting these maybe subatomic particles, and then atoms, and then the heavier atoms, and those atoms are starting to react. Now, if you remember anything from high school physics class, the atoms, you've got the protons and the neutrons in the middle, and then you've got the electrons whizzing around the outside, and the first shell will hold 2 electrons. And once you get more than 2 electrons, it goes to the next shell and starts filling that shell, and that shell holds 8 electrons. And once you get to 8 plus the 2, so you've got 10 electrons, then it moves to the third shell, and it goes on that way. Now that is information. That is data. That is intelligence. You get to 2 electrons. The third one comes in, bam, it's in the outer shell. Now, the number of electrons that is in the outer shell of an atom determines the way it's going to react with other atoms. And so if you've got one that's got one electron in its outer shell, and when you've got one that's missing 1 electron, it's short 1 electron from having a full shell, they will come together, they will swap, and they will be happy and in balance. And that is intelligence. And that is information. I used to ask myself, I say, there's no way that people could exist without something created. Some outside force had to do this, because intelligence does not come from non-intelligence. Information does not come from non-information. But the intelligence and the information and the data that is in atoms and molecules is the same information and intelligence that is keeping you alive, that makes your heart beat, that makes you breathe, that makes you see, that makes you have thoughts and feelings. It's the same intelligence, it's the same information. That is what does it. And so you don't have any more intelligence than a rock. The rock has the same intelligence, or should I say, the rock does not have any less intelligence than you. It's the same intelligence that causes the sun to shine. It's the same information that causes the sun to shine as causes your cells to divide, as causes your hair to grow. So it's the same intelligence. So you ask yourself, well, is there intelligent life on other planets? Well, yeah, other planets are intelligent life because they're part of the system that produces people. And just like the apples, if you take any portion of it away, you can't have the apples because it's part of a single system. The trunk, the soil, the water, the sun, the air, they are all interconnected. They're part of one apple-y system. And the entire universe is all interconnected in a people-y system, creating intelligent, feeling, thinking, choosing people who are all working together. Now, if you look at a snake and it's moving, which side of the snake moves first, the left or the right? It doesn't. It all moves together. And that's what we're doing. We're moving together. We have the illusion of separateness. We feel like we're these apples hanging onto the branches, and then we don't really belong there. But we're all part of the same system. We're all interconnected. We all go together. So when you breathe in, are you breathing, or is the earth breathing you? You know, we like to think in our minds that we're doing all these things. We are in control of our outer actions. But you're growing your hair too. How does that happen? You're beating your heart. How does that happen? It's not a conscious choice or effort. It just happens because it's part of the system. And the air is part of that system, and the earth is part of that system, and the sun is part of that system, and the entire universe is part of a system, a conscious system that can think, feel, move, see. So the planets, there is intelligent life on them, whether there's humans or not, whether there's little green men or not. Okay, all right. I didn't wash any dishes. I washed no dishes. So how intelligent does that make me? Not very. So push the button. Be a part of the system. It's a good one. The universal system. There you go.